Welcome back to the Subspace Games YouTube channel. Today I'm just going to throw together a quick impromptu video. I'm pretty excited about getting that selector control working, and so I was just kind of, the programming sense of doodling. I was just kind of throwing some things in and just seeing how close we were to getting an actual functional level going. And things worked out pretty well, so let's just go ahead and throw in some basic components. We'll finish up the playability of the level, and then we can go back and flesh things out a little bit and add some functionality. So what I did is first I came into what I wanted to do is add the target, so the object that we're trying to hit at the end of the level, and it's going to be you've gotten the theme already. All this stuff is going to be prettier and look neater and everything in the end. But for now, for the functionality, I'm just going to throw in a big, you can see it right here. This is our target. So I went to create model, went to box, and what that did is I created a model that I call target. And that's what it looks like. So I think I went like 3 or 4 in the X and Y directions, and then 1 unit in the Z direction. I ended up scaling it later when I brought it into the level, but for now that's what I did. I selected the object, right-clicked on it, to attributes, added a sensor. It's a box sensor, so it matches the size, the shape of the object. I don't want it to be a collider because I want the ball to actually pass through it. In the end, I'll probably have like a circular target to hit. You have to make it through the circle, and then inside I'll have a big object that's invisible, and as the ball passes through, that registers that you've hit the goal. So this is kind of that idea. This isn't the actual physical target, but just the sensor. So I didn't make it a collider, but I did add a controller. I went into the AI and I created a new controller that we're calling the target AI. And I just saved it. So when I came in and loaded the level, yes, we wanted to save it. I just dragged and dropped it. This is the end of the level. Here's all those little things. And so here at the end of the level, I got that. I didn't like it. It was a little small, so I scaled it up a bit. If you come over here, yeah, so I scaled 3 units in the X direction, 3 in Y, and 4 in Z. I wanted it to be able to give it some depth so the physics engine would recognize that we did hit the object. And I just positioned it so it would be kind of on the wall. Oh, the thing I forgot is when I was creating this, I used the ground material, so it's the same color as the ground. I'm just reusing materials at this point. And that's basically all I did. Object. Now let's go into the code that I created. And I can get rid of, I'm going to go ahead and remove this variable. So the only thing that was really important, yes, let's get rid of it. The only thing that was really important was that I created a handle to the aim cam, so that's my variable. Then I had the onInit function, which does our usual initializing. Take out that line of code. And so I just got a handle to the aim cam. Pretty familiar with this by now, I'd imagine. Get user scene tagged object and then just call it by name. So that loads it into the variable that we've created. And let's jump back over to the target AI. So then I had on sensor collision. It's real simple. All it does is when it registers a collision, it just sends an event to the aim cam that's called onLevelCompleted. So obviously I had to create a new event, and so I went to the aim cam and created this new event. All that does is when the level is completed, we're going to get a handle to a HUD component called congratulations, and then we're going to set that component to visible. So we're just going to follow the chain of events here through the code. So let's switch over to the HUD and see what that is. And so I added this component here. It's congratulations. I made it a container so that I could put other things in it. Positioned it right in the middle of the screen, so 50-50. Set the visibility to false because I don't want it to be a false, just when we're game. The size I got by dragging it, so I positioned the child elements. You can see in here there's a congratulations you win label, and then there's a button. So once I added those things in there, then I dragged it to be about what I want it to be. I just made it kind of a light gray color, so we set the background color to 30-30-30. We could even make it, yeah, why not? Let's make it slightly transparent. So the background shows through a little bit. What else did I do? That's about it. No events. So then I added a child object by right-clicking, go to Add Child. Just added this label, which I just called the congratulations label. Again, I went into the label, added the text. Congratulations, you win. Set the size that I wanted. Set the text alignment to be center. Text encoding to UTF-8. I don't know if that's crucial, but it's probably a little bit more portable for different languages, different areas. There's only one font available, and then I checked the anti-alias text to make it look a little better. Came back, did the same thing again, but now we added a button. So just positioned it where everything would look nice. Now, on these two child objects, I left the visibility as true because the container that they're in is going to handle the visibility for the whole thing. So all we have to do is make that outer container visible, and everything else becomes visible as well. What did I do? So I went a little darker on this, so 40-40-40. I made it a rounded rectangle instead of a rectangle. And on the button, I put text in, went with the same settings as I had on my label, so it's pretty standard, looks good. And then I added an action for the click action, and it's called Reset Game. So in order to see that, let's come out here. What you do to add an action is you right click on actions, you go to add action, and you get basically just ask for a name. So I called it Reset Game. And then once you click on that, then you get an option to add command. So there's a bunch of command types. For the first one, I wanted to make the congratulations message go away. So this is, let me back up a little bit. This button, it says play again. So if you click on this button, it's going to reset the game. So we want the message to go away. So I went to set visible. And for the component, I picked congratulations, which is the container object and the Boolean, and then I set it to false. And so that's what we get here. Set visible congratulations false. Then the second event that I added was send event to user, and basically it just does what it says. It sends an event to the user. So the only thing that you can have handle this event is an event that shows up in the I'll show you in a second. The event that I send is on next level, so we needed to create an event handler in main AI that's called on level. But that's basically all I had to do for my HUD, and it's set up and ready to go, and now we just have to manipulate it in game. So let's go back over to main AI though, and look at that event that I added. So this is on next level. The idea is that if you win the game, that portion of the game, you're going to go to the next level. For right now, all it does is I'm sending an event back to the aim cam saying that we're ending the turn, so it's just going to reset that turn. And as we're following the chain here, so this is a new event, this on turn ends. Basically what I did is I took, if you remember on the on enter frame, we had a whole bunch of code here. Is basically it checks to see if the turn ends. If it does, it's going to process a whole bunch of stuff. I stuck all that into the on turn ends event. So maybe this looks familiar, where we were putting everything back where it should be and all that. So now this is now an event, so I can call this from wherever I need to. And so on the on enter frame, I just simply make a call to that. So when the game resets, right now it's just ending the turn, so that we can play the game again. And while I'm thinking about that, I mentioned before that on the HUD for the action, we had to, the only AI that we had access to is the stuff that's listed in the user main AI, so my only option was main AI. It makes sense, because if you're going to be switching to the next level, you probably want the main AI to handle that so that you can hand things off to another scene, get everything loaded. You don't really want to be in the scene trying to load another scene. Maybe it works, I don't know, I haven't really tried it, but it just, mentally it makes sense to do it that way. So I think that is it. So if we come in here and play the game, we can actually have a little bit of fun for once. Now we can bounce the thing around for quite a bit, but just to make the video shorter, I'm just going to show you that if you shoot into the teleporter, it comes out the other side. And I already worked out a quick solution for this level. Obviously the levels will be bigger and be a little more difficult. But if I just select this object, move it over to right about there, and then rotate it around, I think right about there, and fire the ball again, it should bounce right up into the target. So there you see, we get congratulations, you win, and there's a button that says play again. The font's a little small, so I'll probably want to adjust that at some point. But that's it. So we have now made the game completely playable. It may not be the funnest thing, it may not be the best looking thing, but we have a goal and we have some things we can manipulate, and we can get to the goal and we can play around with it and see what's going to make this fun. If we click play again, it can clean all this up, but basically all it does is you saw that the appeared, and it just put the ball back to the beginning, so it's ready to go again. So again, it's not pretty, but it gives us the ability to check out the mechanics of the game and play around with it. I hope you have enjoyed everything to this point. I feel like this is a huge step, that we've finished a phase of the game. We can now go back and clean things up, maybe make things look prettier. We can even add some more objects. I'm not necessarily done adding particular types of objects into the game, so we may add some other things, but we're at a stage now where we can play it, and I think that's a huge deal. So appreciate your patience so far, and I think the hardest part is past. We've got most of the difficult code out of the way, so I look forward to doing some more. Hopefully you'll tune in. Please go to subspacegames.com, leave comments at YouTube, check out the code on GitHub. Again, you can go to my blog, and there's a link at the top to the game prototype where you can actually go in and play it. Please leave me any feedback in my forum, anything you like or don't like about the game, and I'll continue to use those comments. So we'll see you next time.